Last week, very tough loss against a really good football team, ACC opponent. We have to just come out this week and pretty much just execute. Coach kind of said it in his statement. We have to find a way to finish on offense. Offense has been a little bit too inconsistent. We've seen it all throughout this season where we'll see spurts in games, but we wouldn't put it all together for 4 quarters. So this week we need to really work on playing a full football game where we just don't have just the third quarter, first quarter. We just can't have too many inconsistencies. So that's the big thing around the locker room is finish.
It may not show up on the record, but what can you take from those games at Pitt, especially from an offensive perspective, that helps you moving forward even if you didn't win it?
Right. So against Pitt in the third quarter, it was able to show us that we are capable of playing with anybody, regardless of conference or their record. We just have to just worry about us. So when we worry about us, we're able to do great things. We're able to score points, we're able to break tackles. But the thing is, it comes from repetition. We have to practice a lot better. Coaches, they have been saying that we need to practice harder. There have been areas where certain guys aren't finishing here and there. So we just have to just put it all together, and it will show up in games like it did in that third quarter.
Finally got an open field. The chance nobody in front of me. I saw your eyes from where I was.
Right. Okay, so that play. So first of all, we've been working on it all week, but it played out a lot differently. Rather than me getting in a host shot, we were scheming to throw the out route. So after, I believe, the first play, we noticed that they were playing more cover 2, necessarily than having the corners bail into deep quarters, I guess you could say. So first one, we tried to connect at the beginning of the game, but the pass was short. But the second time we hit it on that particular play, I was like, oh man, because as soon as I caught it, I saw the safety slip right by me, and I was like, oh, you got to score this. So I just made sure to just put on the afterburners, and I'm just very blessed that it just worked out in my favor.
That what you really said.
What's up? Yeah, I didn't say nothing. I was just excited because, like Coach said, at that point I was like, we're back in this game. So I was just saying to myself, let's go, we're in this. So yeah, that was a good moment. That was definitely my personal highlight from that game.
Just talk about the offensive mindset. Third quarter, you definitely came out with a different attitude. Looks like guys quit thinking and reacting, and the running backs specifically were attacking the holes instead of kind of shaking bake a little bit.
Yeah, you can thank Coach Lynch for that. Coach Lynch, he pretty much fired us up. He got us going at halftime. He really challenged us at that point because Coach Lynch, he's a great coach. And what many people don't see is that he really does call good games. It's really up for the players to play and the coaches to coach. So when it comes to that instance, we just decided that, hey, we're going to do what we're coached to do. And that comes back to the consistency thing. When we're consistent, it makes it seem like everything's flowing together. So Coach Bailiff, Coach Stewart, Coach Lynch, they can only do so much from a coaching aspect. It's up to us to go out and execute. And at that point, we took it upon ourselves, me particularly, to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to just use this as motivation and make sure that we come out and we turn this around.
Has formerly playing receiver been any sort of transition for you in light of how much you already sort of run and catch the ball?
Right. So interesting thing about that, the whole receiver thing, my father wanted me to make the transition to high school, really. But me being hard-headed and stubborn, I was like, oh no, I'm a running back. I did not like playing receiver at all. And then in high school, I rarely caught the ball. Me and my brother were in the backfield, so either he was running it or I was running it. So when I first got to Rice, I couldn't catch to say, well, you can ask the coaches, catching was not my strong suit. But the more and more we threw the ball, I realized I had to be able to catch in order to get on the field. So it just transitioned over time. And then this past year, I just wanted to make that transition because I knew that schematically it worked in my best interest to play receiver. So therefore, the transition over time was very, very good.
Has it been tough this year playing without your brother for most of the season after he went down?
Well, it's tough from a mental standpoint because I want him out there with me. But it's not as tough as it would be as if we were in the backfield together, if that makes sense. But I know it's tough for him, but my brother's strong. He's taking it, one day at a time. He's doing rehab every single morning. I'm in there with him, so he's doing whatever he can do to get back on the field. So he'll be back full force next year, but he has I think his injury is going to keep him out for the rest of this year. But he'll be back. He'll be stronger than ever.